Welcome back. We are now at the end of the day at the Platform Markets Group Evershed Sutherland UK Data Centre Investment event. And I'm delighted to have digital infrastructure specialist Stephen Scott with me. Welcome, Stephen. Thank you for agreeing to an interview. You've obviously been attending the sessions today, all about the UK. What are your key takeaways from today in terms of the investment and operator side?
So the first session I sat in today was about the investment side of the business, and that is interesting because it's clear that there's more investment being released into UK and European opportunities now. But nevertheless, there's a massive requirement for the operators to demonstrate power availability, construction capability, and the all important early term lease. So I spent some time in that, and then the session after that was leadership, which I only caught some of because I had a call to jump on, and that was good. I recognised all the guys around the panel, and it was very good to see Doug, who's just joined KO Data there. He's a really good man. And of course, it was great to see Joshy up there as well. And,
did you agree with the comments they were making? You know, there was some ups and some downs, some positive things for the UK market and some maybe little underlying worries that were going on as well. Did you agree with their overview of what's going on?
So in general terms, yes. I think if you're not already in the data center space, it's very hard to start operating and to start building because there is so much to learn, and it's one of those things that it looks easier than it is really. So for the most part, when I'm out of my advisory sessions with various companies, if they're not already doing it, I recommend strongly they develop land, they develop power, they develop some of the utility-based side of a site, and then they just get it sold to a natural operator. And the truth is, you make really more money on that side of the development than you ever do operating the data center facility afterwards. But it was interesting because there were, quite hard to the left and hard to the right in terms of opinion on the market here in the UK right now. Clearly, there is pressure for the industry to develop more in the out there in the tier 2, although there was some misgivings around referring to any city as a tier 2, but the secondary cities, and it was surprising for me to learn that 80% of all the data centres are based in and around London and Slough, and only 8% are in the north of the UK, where almost all of our manufacturing and industry exists.
It's quite a scary number, isn't it? When you think about the distribution, that is not an adequate distribution, even based on population size. But did you agree with the comments that probably Manchester and Wales will be the next two hubs in terms of data centre growth and build?
Yeah, so Manchester has been quite a hub really for an awful long time. Wales, there's some real advantages in Wales, not least there's a lot of green power available. There's capacity that comes across the Irish Sea and connects up into Wales. And also there's some already significant data centres built there, so you can build near them and be in a quickly established availability zone. But I do think, just to answer that question in a slightly different way, the fundamental requirements being, power, access, geography are crucial to any data center development, and without any of those you really can't get very far at all. Beyond that, you've got things like demographics and fiber is generally easy to get to anywhere, but the earlier things, power and geography are so very, very important. And I think that certainly when I'm looking at opportunities out there in the transaction space, I'm looking initially just at those three things. And I was saying to somebody out there in the lobby earlier on today that if you are trying to engage a hyperscale to talk about a data center opportunity, if you arrive at the table without the primary 3 or 4 pillars of requirement, the meeting is over so quickly. You're out the door. You're straight out the door, and it's hard to get a second chance. So I do think that there is. And that's no disrespect to the people who work in those places. They are flat out busy trying to build, an extraordinary amount of space. But I do think that the industry has got itself sort of resolved around these sort of basic pillars about which you build a data center, big or small.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like there's interesting times ahead, not only for the UK, but hopefully in those areas outside of London, the M25 and across the Mere. Thank you so much for joining us, Steve. Hope you've enjoyed your day. And we'll see you again at the networking drinks. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.